From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning. The time right now is 4:27 here. It is Wednesday, halfway through your work week, and I'm Lauren Casey. Want to get to some of our top stories before we get into the show today, starting with when your kids are heading back into the classroom. We have learned the back to school plans for two big districts here in Indianapolis after they've been virtual learning to start the school year, completely virtual learning. Starting with IPS, we're learning that students are going to be heading back to the classroom in some waves. The first wave on Monday, October 5th, that's pre-K through third grade, and then the week of October 12th, that is scheduled to be fall break. All students will learn remotely, and then on the 19th, pre-K through fifth grade will return to class 5 days a week. Grades 6 through 12 will be on a hybrid schedule. Another district we're learning about, Washington Township, that was one of the first districts to announce that they were going entirely virtual to start the school year. We're learning that students in preschool through second grade will return on October 12th, right after their fall break. Those students will be in the classroom all week long. Grades 3 through 12 will go back 1 week later on the 19th. Grades 3 through 5 attending full-time, while middle and high school students are on that hybrid schedule. All of this is subject to change if the positivity rate in those districts goes up. So we will continue to keep you updated on that. But for now, let's take a look at our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by with more on what we can expect for today. And Todd, yesterday, picture perfect out there. Wow.
You know, it was absolutely great yesterday, Lauren. And I know I talked a lot yesterday about that smoke. It wasn't as bad yesterday as it was on Monday. So we got into more of that blue sky, but it was spectacular outside. You mentioned the park was really busy, and so was the Monon Trail. So a lot of people were out and about throughout the day yesterday, and rightfully so. This morning, it's cool. Look at all the 40s out there already. Logansport, Bloomington, Kokomo, and the 40s. 56 right now in Indy, and Lafayette is at 52. Radar, quiet. And once again, today is going to be a dry day. We really need some rainfall, just simply not in the forecast for the day today. It's mostly sunny. One difference from yesterday today is it's a touch warmer today, as high temperatures will be topping off in the low 80s. But overall, it's another great day for us. Some changes start to arrive tomorrow. We'll talk about those for you coming up in your full weather forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And speaking of kids being out at the park, a lot of students, as we know, have been working from home. So I'm going to tell you about a nonprofit that's helping provide pre-K early education to your child. If you qualify, completely free. They'll send you the device. They'll get you that internet hotspot, and kids are learning how to read. They are not falling behind, so we'll have a checkup on how the summer program went, plus how you can register for the fall session. That's all coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
A deadly double shooting near downtown. Now at 4:30, what we know about the latest investigation. Two Indianapolis school districts returning to the classroom next month. This morning, we're breaking down everything you and your students need to know. And Halloween, it's right around the corner. Working for you, some new guidance from health officials that will help you decide if your little ones should trick or treat this year. But before we get to our top stories today, I want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey with Todd Clausen joining me in studio today. Todd, as we've been saying yesterday, it was a picture perfect day. The evening, perfect for a walk and to get outside. Can we keep this trend going into our Wednesday?
You know, for the most part, the answer is yes. Today is going to be a touch warmer, but the evening hours are going to be pleasant this morning. Just like you had to do yesterday, you need the light jacket in spots already, some 40s. So obviously the temperatures you see here, they are coming from actual thermometers or readings. But in some of the areas where we don't have as many thermometers, you see all that blue. That's where temperatures are in the 40s. So there's quite a few 40s out there this morning. 56, though, right now in Indianapolis. Running a little bit warmer as is usual. 51 is the current temperature in Peru. So grab that jacket. I know as I walked out the door this morning, it was probably the first morning I was like, oh, maybe I should get my own jacket besides the suit coat that I have on. So clear skies all across the area. There's some high cloud cover off to our west, and some of this cloud cover will start to drift in as the day goes on. So we'll start off mostly sunny, turn it partly cloudy, but it's a dry day for us. 50s here through about 9 a.m., then eventually climbing into the mid 70s days as we get into the afternoon hours with high temperatures today into the low 80s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at your morning commute as you're heading out the door early on this Wednesday. Here's a live look north of the downtown area. You can see I-65 here at 21st Street, and you see those orange barrels down at the bottom of your screen. That's the southbound direction of I-65. We do have the on-ramp closed from 21st Street to southbound I-65. That construction project is scheduled to last through Saturday, September 26th. So keep avoiding that area for your commute today and for the rest of the week. And of course, we'll keep you updated on the rest of the roads throughout your morning. New from overnight, one person is dead following a double shooting near downtown Indianapolis. This all happened just before midnight in the 1300 block of East Ohio Street, just a little east of downtown. Police tell us they were called to the scene of reports of a shooting. 2 victims were found. One person was pronounced dead at the scene. At this hour, that second victim remains in grave condition. Police tell us they believe this was a targeted incident and that the public is not in any great danger at this time. This is the latest incident, which has been a very violent year all across the Circle City with more than 160 homicides to date. Now, to put this in perspective for you, in 2019, we ended the year with 171 homicides. We are less than 50 days away from the election, and a record number of Hoosiers plan to vote by mail due to the pandemic. Right here in Marion County, the number of people requesting absentee ballots has already doubled from the 2016 year. Election officials tell us around 43,000 absentee ballot applications have been requested so far this year, and the pandemic isn't the only reason for the surge in requests. Voters we talked to are also concerned about the political back and forth about mail-in voting and increasing lag times from the post office.
Anticipate a very large turnout for this presidential election, and I just don't want to stand in line with people that maybe won't wear a mask or people that show up maybe ill, but they're determined to vote. I trust our local mail carrier. It's just what's coming out from Washington that concerns me.
If you share those concerns, you can turn in your mail-in ballot in person to your county's election board at early voting sites, or you can do that on Election Day. Well, there is still some confusion over who is eligible to vote by absentee ballot here in Indiana and how to do so. This morning, we're breaking down what you need to know. You can see if you qualify by visiting indianavoters.in.gov. There's a list of reasons, and if those don't apply to you, you can vote in person either early or on Election Day. If you do qualify, you can request an absentee ballot from your county clerk's office. They'll mail you a ballot, and then you can either mail it back or return it in person. You can track the process online to make sure that your vote counts. The deadline to request absentee ballots is October 22nd, and your ballot must be received before noon on Election Day. Here are some other important dates to keep in mind. To vote in November, you must register by October 5th. If you're returning your ballot by mail, the Postal Service says to give it at least a week to arrive by the noon on Election Day deadline. That means that you should put it in the mail by the morning of October 27th. Early in-person voting runs from October 6th through November 2nd, and Election Day is November 3rd. We all have this information and more for you online. Just visit WRTV.com. Let's turn now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and the effect it's having here in the Hoosier State. The Indiana State Department of Health reporting 758 additional cases of the coronavirus. In total, 107,229 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. The state also confirming 20 additional deaths related to COVID-19. Since the pandemic began, 3,235 people in Indiana have died with the coronavirus. 1,254,731 Hoosiers have been tested for COVID-19 so far. We can tell you 8.5% of those tests are coming back positive. Well, after starting the school year with 100% remote learning, students in 2 Indianapolis school districts will be heading back to the classroom in October. Indianapolis Public Schools will begin a slow return to school in a matter of weeks. The first wave on Monday, October 5th, will only include pre-kindergartners through 3rd graders. The week of October 12th, which is scheduled to be fall break, all students will learn remotely. And then Monday, October 19th, grades pre-K through 5th will return to class 5 days a week. Grades 6 through 12 will be on a hybrid model with students based on their last names attending classes in person twice a week and 3 days remotely. Over in Washington Township, the school board approved a new plan to gradually bring their students back inside the school building starting next month. The district was one of the first in the area to announce that it would begin the year with all virtual learning due to the high rate of COVID-19 infections in that portion of Marion County. One parent we spoke to says she's glad the district took parents' concerns into consideration.
I feel like the board did a good job in trying to follow safety guidelines, but take the community's input into account. And I have faith that the school will do the best they can to follow the rules and keep everybody safe.
Well, here's what the district's return to school plan looks like. Students in preschool through second grade will return October 12th. That's right after their fall break. Those students will be in the classroom 5 days a week. Students in grades 3 through 12 will go back 1 week later, October 19th. Grades 3 through 5 will attend full-time, while middle and high school students will be on a hybrid schedule. The school district says students who wish to continue full-time virtual learning will be allowed to do so. The district will go back to virtual learning for all students if Marion County's positive COVID-19 test rate goes back up to 8% or higher. The time right now is 4:37. A reminder this morning for those families who are continuing with e-learning, help is available if you do work during the day or you don't have internet capabilities. Community learning sites from the organization The Mind Trust are set up all across Indianapolis. This one here is at the Reset Center. It's on the far east side, and it's working with students from 14 different schools. They're kindergartners through 8th graders with various schedules, various learning levels and requirements. The Reset Center says this service is critical for many families in our community. The center is always looking for more volunteers or donations. We have more information on how you can get help or how you can help the center online by visiting WRTV.com. This morning, there's still no word on when Big Ten football will return, but speculation on a possible fall season heightened yesterday after a hot microphone captured a comment made by a University of Nebraska official.
With what we're getting ready to announce with Husker in Big Ten football tonight.
Oh, really? I heard that was happening. I didn't. I think there's a lot of anticipation about that. Good for you. Maybe that'll get off your plate.
Well, it never will, but it's a good move in the right direction.
Well, that is Nebraska President Ted Carter. He's talking to the director of National Strategic Research Institute before a news conference Tuesday morning. Last month, university presidents voted to postpone fall sports. They have been under intense pressure to reverse that decision. Carter later backtracked on the private comment that went public.
It was picked up a little out of context. All I said is there's work going on, and I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic like everybody else, and we'll get to discovering when it's safe to play.
The University of Wisconsin chancellor is also commenting publicly. Rebecca Blank says that Big Ten football will stay on hold until there are answers to questions about COVID testing, tracing, and possible long-term heart issues. Halloween, it's right around the corner, and many parents are trying to decide whether or not to participate in the festivities this year with the ongoing pandemic. So state and local cities have not made any Halloween announcements just yet, but a new website could help you determine what's best for your family. It includes an interactive color-coded map showing COVID risk levels in every county. Each color corresponds with recommended Halloween activities. For example, in the green zones, trick-or-treating and neighborhood costume parties, they're considered safe. In red zones, smaller and virtual gatherings are recommended to stay safe, like Zoom and TikTok parties. The site is backed by the Halloween Industry Association. It's a not-for-profit group. You can find where your community stands by going to WRTV.com and just click on that story. All right, Todd, let's talk about the weather right now. We know that storm system, Sally, has been slow moving. How does that impact the weather here and all across the area?
You know how fast Sally's moving right now, Lauren?
How fast?
2 miles per hour.
We could walk with her.
We could walk faster than Sally is moving right now. And that's bad news for the Gulf Coast. A slow-moving storm means lots of rain, lots of flooding. But here in central Indiana, it's pretty quiet. So as we go throughout the next couple days, there's some minor changes to the forecast from all that sunshine that we've been seeing. We'll dive into the forecast in detail and look at your weekend as well when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. So some new details this morning in the ambush shooting of 2 Los Angeles sheriff's deputies. Video shows a female deputy applying a tourniquet to her partner shortly after the two were shot several times on Saturday at point-blank range by a lone gunman. The deputies suffered wounds to their heads and arms and remain in intensive care. But while one local activist is actually praising the act of violence as retribution for police killing of civilians, city leaders there denounce that stance.
Right here lightens my heart, right? Because, you know, the sheriff department has murdered too many of our brothers and sisters. This is a start of retribution. Then I think this is a very good start.
We have bad apples in every organization, just as we do in law enforcement. We hold them accountable. I'm not going to tolerate anybody crossing the line, but at the same time, I'm not going to throw out the overwhelming majority of deputies who are doing the right thing for the right reason.
A reward of $275,000 is being offered for information about that shooter. Let's turn now to the presidential race. President Trump answering questions from undecided voters during an ABC News town hall in Philadelphia last night. The 90-minute special covered everything from the coronavirus pandemic and economic recovery to protests for racial justice and climate change. The first and most discussed topic was the coronavirus pandemic. The president once again defending his response to the pandemic.
Could you have done more to stop it?
I don't think so. I think what I did by closing up the country, I think I saved 2, maybe 2.5, maybe more than that lives. I really don't think so. I think we did a very good job.
The president addressed widespread calls for police reform across the country. While he said there are some bad apples, he wouldn't say one way or another whether there's a systemic problem with policing.
I can only say this, that the police in this country have done generally a great job. There are crimes, there are problems, and there are chokers. They choke under pressure. I mean, they have 1/4 of a second to make a decision. And sometimes they make a wrong decision, and that's a terrible thing.
So you didn't think that's a sign of systemic racism?
No, I think there's problems, but I also think there's some very big problems where if you don't give the police back their authority, right now, police are afraid they're going to lose their pension. They're going to lose their job if they talk to somebody in the wrong way. When I watch New York, you know, the New York City police...
Well, ABC News offered to host a similar town hall with Democratic candidate Joe Biden. The network and that campaign could not find a mutually agreeable date. At 4:46, Hurricane Sally is strengthened to a Category 2 storm. It's expected to make landfall late this morning, but already Sally has brought flash flooding to parts of Florida and Alabama. Even more is expected at historic levels as that storm slowly makes its way to shore. The National Hurricane Center says it's moving at a pace of 2 miles per hour, and they expect the worst of the storm to hit the Alabama-Florida state line. More than 80,000 people are already without power in those 2 states. Back here at home, the opposite problem. It's been really dry, Todd.
Yeah, you know, we're on pace for the driest September on record as of right now for the city of Indianapolis. I know to the north you saw quite a bit of rainfall earlier this month, but even in northern locations now, it's been dry for a little while. Only 0.04 of an inch of rain has fallen at the airport in Indianapolis. That puts us now 1.5 inches below normal, and there's really not a whole lot in the way of rainfall opportunities in this forecast. As we go forward throughout the course of the next couple days, tomorrow there's a chance of maybe a couple sprinkles, which I'll show you in just a second. This morning as you walk out the door, it is quiet, it is calm. The temperature's at 56 degrees right now in Indianapolis, but look at all the 40s that are on the map here this morning. From Bloomington at 45, Greencastle 47. We head off to the east, Greenfield out I-70 to Richmond. The temperature's going to be sitting right at 47 degrees. Connorsville at 50. We go to the North Tipton, 51 degrees. So the jacket definitely needed here this morning because these temperatures are probably going to drop another couple degrees, and then they'll stay in the 40s and 50s for a good chunk of the morning. In fact, it's probably not till late morning that you'll shed that jacket as the temperature gets up to 66 degrees by 11 a.m. Then we're into the 70s here as we work our way into the noon hour. And one trend you will notice throughout the day today is we'll go from mostly sunny skies here this morning to partly cloudy skies later on this afternoon. afternoon. The other change is temperatures today going to be running a little bit warmer than they have been. We've been in the mid to upper 70s. Today we should crack that 80-degree number across the area. Here are the clear skies. Here is this little band of cloud cover that's making its way towards the area. This is going to bring just increased cloud cover throughout the afternoon hours. Partly cloudy is what we'll call it. And then here is Sally right now, just making landfall right in the Mobile area. And this is going to continue to drop copious amounts of rain here across parts of the area, but it's going to curve and just kind of head through Georgia. It's not going to impact us much at all here locally as it makes its way through the southeastern portion of the United States. This evening, 7:51 is sunset. Skies will be partly cloudy, temperatures in the 70s. Tomorrow, because of the cloud cover that's around overnight, not quite as cold as it is this morning or cool as this morning. Instead of the 40s, generally we're all in the 50s for tomorrow. I mentioned that rain chance for Thursday. A cold front comes through. It's just a chance of a hit or miss sprinkle, but the air is just so dry, even though TrueCast is showing a little green, which is obviously rainfall there. I think it's nothing more than a sprinkle. As we get to Friday and beyond, another sunny stretch of weather for us with low temperatures in the 40s. Highs only in the upper 60s on Friday, but then back into the 70s for the weekend, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Good morning to you up in Boone County. Let's take a live look at your commute. This is I-65, a view here near State Road 267, where all the lanes are open. You can see that middle area. We do have that ongoing construction, but nothing happening at this hour. Everything's traveling up to speed northbound and southbound through the Whitestown area. So that's great news if you're heading out the door early on this Wednesday. Hiring Hoosiers is committed to connecting you to opportunities to help you start or maybe advance your career. Kroger is hosting another job fair today to fill positions in Westfield, Fishers, Carmel, and up on the north side of Indianapolis. This runs from 2 to 7 at the company's training center in Castleton, 8040 Castleway Drive. Also today, Amazon is hosting a free virtual career day. The company says this event is for anyone, regardless of your experience or professional field. You do not even need to be interested in working at Amazon. Recruiting experts and industry leaders are going to share some advice with you. You can also register for one-on-one career coaching sessions. For more information, go to AmazonCareerDay.com. Actor and comedian Paul Rudd is looking forever young. Now he's putting his good genes to work for a good cause. See his hilarious PSA coming up next.
Vibe check. Yes, queens like ourselves. We want to go to bars, we want to drink, hook up, do our TikToks. I get it. I'm not going to preach at you like some celebrity. Ugh. This is a combo where I talk and you shut up and wear your mask.
So actor and comedian Paul Rudd is giving a helping hand to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo in an effort to boost mask usage among young people. This PSA features Rudd, who is 51. He's dressed up in a bright yellow hoodie and sweatpants, holding a skateboard. He's pretending to be a millennial. Rudd is known for looking younger than his age. I did not realize he was 51 already. This tongue-in-cheek video may be a joke, but it underscores a very serious problem. Recent weeks and months have seen countless examples of younger people gathered at crowded events while not wearing face coverings.
Apparently a lot of COVID is transmitted by us millennials. No cap. So Cuomo's asked me, he's like, Paul, you gotta help. What are you, like 26? And I didn't correct him. So fam, let's real talk. Masks? They're totally beast. So slide that into your DMs and twitch it.
So Rudd's video is the latest in a series of ads for the mask campaign, which has featured other celebrities, including Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro. Todd, I didn't realize he was so much older than you. Wow.
You know what it is, the lack of gray hair.
That's true.
He has no gray hair.
Maybe he colors it.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. That's pretty funny, though.
And there's just me over here in the weather center.
Oh, no.
Following in Kevin Gregory's shoes.
Curse.
81 degrees here this afternoon with mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow, a little more in the way of cloud cover as the front goes through, and cooler at 73. But then a beautiful stretch of weather in our forecast Friday all the way through Tuesday with lots of sunshine. But notice the temperatures, 40s for lows each and every morning as we work our way from Friday all the way into Tuesday with high temperatures in the low 70s through the weekend, and even 169 there on Friday. So first push of fall weather here across the area. We'll talk more about the forecast for for you, and the potential for maybe a little bit of rainfall tomorrow coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.